What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with that draft analysis again. We're going to talk about Franz Wagner, a guy that a lot of people have going into the lottery because of his length, his size, and his defensive ability that he already has shown on a level that he has played on the highest he can go. And they got a lot of people going crazy because they see his ability to be a pick and roll player in the future. They see him as a 3 and D guy, a guy that can defend, switch, and guard multiple positions while also being able to hit the three. Not consistently able to do it at this point of his career, but that's just something that you have to continue to work on every single night, every single game, every single day, and it'll come around. I don't know if he's going to have an NBA level three as a rookie. Some people think he's going to come in and contribute right away. I think he needs some time to be able to be a reliable offensive weapon. I keep telling people that your defense can only get you so far, as we're starting to see that guys that can't really score, create a shot, or shoot, teams are not really emphasizing grabbing or really loving those players as much as they did 5 to 10 years ago. Those guys are getting more phased out for guys that can hit threes, make a quick play, or put the ball on the floor, hit a floater or a layup. Those are the guys that teams are more or less looking for now in their starting rotation, or another guy that can be a ball handler. The best part about France is he can do those things in the future, and that's what makes him fun as a lottery pick, just because you see the physical profile and the tools that he has on display, and you see he has some skill already as a young player, but at the same time, the things that you want for an impact player, he hasn't mastered or shown because he hasn't played in the NBA yet. So I think that we just need to pump the brakes a little bit on him when it comes to being a guy that you can rely on to give you 25 minutes in a real game, especially because a lot of these teams already have their players and their rotation guys already. He's going to have to fight through them to be able to get the minutes that he really wants and have him a chance to win the Rookie of the Year or be in that argument. But depending on where he goes, I do see him as a high upside guy. I like the standard things that he brings to the table. I like the fact that the guy is a competitor. I like the fact that he isn't scared of the moment. He's not scared to guard anybody. And those things help build your confidence. Those things help you be respected around the league, and he already has those in his head already. He just has to do it at the highest level. Another thing is he has shown that he isn't afraid of the threes. He's not afraid to let them things fly. He hasn't been an above average or even an average 3 point shooter yet, but he also isn't afraid to take them. So he's going to have to make them and take them in the NBA. NBA defenses are going to force him to shoot them because all they're going to do is help off of him or rotate off of him to give him the shot. He's just going to have to make it. And if he doesn't, I don't see him being a huge impact player. If he does, or he continues to work on it and gets better as the season goes, I can see him earning legitimate minutes if his defense does translate. Most rookies that come into the NBA known as great defender usually aren't great defenders as rookies. It's a huge learning curve, learning how guys are more physical, are more faster, more stronger than you. You don't have the body. You foul a little bit too much because you're a little too antsy. You're a little bit too trigger happy, which we call it too. And on top of that, you have to learn verticality, which is hard to learn right away, especially when guys are able to just go right through you at the NBA level because you're going against men, which he did overseas. But at the same time, it's just a different level of athleticism that he's going to have to deal with. Plus, the floor is more spread out at the NBA level because it's more space and more shooters, like I just said, even with the 3 and D guys. And you have to cover more ground. You have to be more smarter because you can get killed very easily in isolation or being a guy that goes to sleep or not pay attention on guys that can shoot or guys that can make a play, and then you just get torched every night until you learn your lesson by watching film and trying to get better in those areas, which he can't do yet, obviously, because he hasn't played the game and hasn't been able to go through this learning curve that he's going to have to do to get to that point. So I'm a little lower on Frank right away to a team. I think some of the teams that's in his range would love to have him, because he has a lot of things that you would like to have with a guy that you're trying to build around in the future. So the shooting, the ability to possibly be a playmaker in a pick and roll, a ball handler, from combo guardish type way, where you can give him the ball to make plays or make reads, and he can do it at the top of the key. Those are valuable players usually in the league, and he shows signs that he can possibly do that. That's something that you really want to, figure out probably year 2, year 3, as you have to get him acclimated to the game and to how high the level of talent is. And I think that he'll realize that right away. But like I said, this guy is fearless. So he's going to go out there and do the best he can. He's just going to have to learn the hard way like all rookies have to. And then we would just have to see is his offensive game where it needs to be. Because this guy can get steals. This guy can get out in transition, run the court very well, make the right decision, finish. And he also, can be a guy that can benefit playing with other stars or other shooters where his job would be a little bit easier. Just finish the play or make the right play and don't overthink it. If he can do those small little things, he can get you 10 to 15 minutes and contribute that way. But when it comes to being a difference maker, I don't really see him being able to do that right away. I see him taking months to be able to be that, honestly and truthfully, with him coming in as a rookie. But that's not a bad thing. That's not a shot. That's not saying that he's not this, he's not that. It's just learning is tough, and you're going to have to go through a lot of down games and a lot of bad shooting games and a lot of games where you get embarrassed because these guys are going to come out to beat you. Their job is to win the game. Their job is to dominate the game, and when you're a rookie and you don't have those pointers or you don't have all that stuff figured out, you just be out there, being embarrassed, honestly and truthfully. So I think people should be a little bit more lighter, saying that he can be a great defender. I just don't see that happening right away. Maybe year 2, maybe year 3, when a game slows down a little bit and he understands a little bit more. Body is a little bit better when it comes to being able to play multiple positions and being able to switch, even on some bigger guys. That'll make him more valuable in the league. And if the 3-point shot does come around, that will make him a legitimate starter at the NBA level. When you have his size, his length, and then you add the ability to shoot a three and the fact that he can make some plays, 2 to 3 years from now, from that, you can possibly have the perfect starter on a team, and you can just draft him now in the lottery and just build him up until he's ready to be that, which he does have huge potential of being a high level starter. So I think that this guy will be good, not as a rookie, as some other people think, but as he continues to develop and grows, I can definitely see him being an impact player on good to great teams, or even more, depending on how much he loves the game, how much he works on the game, the situation that he's placed up into, and the talent that they have around him can really make his growing a lot better and a lot smoother. And he can be able to deliver a little bit more offensively. He can really be a great player for a team in the future. So I see why a lot of people have him going in the top 10. I see why a lot of people love what he has shown so far, and I do too. But I just feel like it's levels to the game, man. He's not at that level right now. He's going to be there in the future, but just not right now as a rookie. But other than that, I love what I seen, and I'm enjoying a lot of these rookies as I'm scouting them and reading on them and also watching them. And I feel like he's one of the better ones, and he just has to fall into the right situation where they bring him along slowly, they show him the game slowly, allow him to play through a little bit of mistakes, allow him to grow from it, and also put him in more situations to where he can succeed as a rookie and just build upon what you showed him, and hopefully he enhances other skills and just become a better, well-balanced all-around player, especially if his defense does translate years from now. And then you got a guy that can defend multiple positions, knock down shots, and make plays. Then you got yourself a real good treat if you're the team that gets him. But that's with any player. We see it. We see the potential. We see what they can be. We see what we want them to be. But ultimately, it's up to them and the coach that's utilizing them to put them in a position and have the work ethic to make everything work out and be smooth. But we have to see. This is definitely a rookie that I'm keeping my eye out for, because he could be a special player. And I think that's why any team that drafts him is going to love him. They're not going to complain if he falls to them because a lot of these teams are looking for a guy like that. A lot of these teams need a guy like that. And a lot of teams still got a couple more years to go before they're ready to make their run in the playoffs. And they'll love to pick up a guy like this that can be a do-it-all guy at a young age and possibly can be more depending on what happens with him and his work ethic in the situation that he's in. So he's going to be interesting. He's going to be fun to watch, and he could be a guy that we can be talking about years from now as one of the best players in this draft. He already is currently, but now we just have to see him do it at the NBA level. And that's going to be the good, the bad, and the ugly happening. But it'll be a fun growth experience for him. And hopefully it molds and builds him into the man that he needs to be. And hopefully he can just be a reliable contributor at worst, which you will still take because NBA teams still need that. NBA starters still need that. And so do the NBA champions. So he should be a pretty safe pick. It just seeing what his upside is going to be is something that we have to watch. Other than that, I like what I seen. Let me know what you guys think about him, and I'll be back tomorrow.